In today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how I went from overweight and out of shape to absolutely shredded while only working out 3 to 4 hours per week, not doing any boring machine cardio, and being able to go out comfortably with my friends and family and still enjoy what it is I was eating. You're probably thinking, Tyler, it's impossible to lose 20, 30, or even 40 plus pounds doing all of that, and that's totally normal. Most people think that way, even myself when I first started this journey. But this method that I'm about to show you is exactly how I went from having chubby chipmunk cheeks to taking 3rd place in a men's physique show while working 60 plus hours a week in grad school while obtaining my Ph.D. in organic chemistry. And before we dive into the value, I just want to take a second and assure you that this is actually possible for you too. This method is how I helped one of my clients reduce his cholesterol levels, lose over 30 pounds, and see his abs for the first time in his life over the age of 50, all while going to professional sporting events, traveling for work, and traveling for vacation, including cruises and trips to Europe. Or how I helped my client Dan lose over 20 pounds and fit into a medium shirt for the first time in over 8 years. On top of that, he was also getting compliments from his wife, and the workout plan that we designed for him actually allowed him to increase the amount of time he was spending with his family. Or how I helped Brandon lose over 30 pounds and fit into a suit and jeans that he hasn't worn in over 2 years, and now he has confidence levels that are soaring off of the charts. The list goes on and on, but by the end of this video, I'm going to show you the exact 3-step process that I used to get my dream body and get into the best shape of my life, and it's the exact blueprint that I use with all of my clients to help them do the same. If you don't already know me, my name is Dr. Tyler Rawolf, and I'm a former organic chemist turned weight loss specialist, and I help busy Christian men who are stuck, overweight, and not seeing any results conquer their weight loss goals through faith-driven fitness and discipleship so they can lose this weight once and for all and keep it off for good. But just so we don't waste any time, I do want to let you know up front that this video is for busy Christian men who are eager to make a change. They're coachable, meaning they're ready to implement advice, and they're humble. They're allowing themselves room to grow and learn, and they're not pretending to be some know-it-all. They're determined and ready to reach this goal, meaning they do not see failure as an option. There is no plan B, and they're also community-oriented and team players, meaning that they're willing to engage with and support others on their weight loss journey. So if you're not a busy Christian man, or you are, but you're lazy, you're unwilling to take action, you're in a constant mindset of doubt or disbelief, and you like to make excuses and not take any accountability for your own actions and where you are currently in your weight loss journey, then click off of this video right now, because I don't want to waste any of your time. Go ahead and watch my other content on YouTube and learn some more before coming back to this video. But if this does sound like you, then take out a pen and paper and get ready to take some notes, because I'm going to be peeling back the curtain on these secret methods, and I'm not holding anything back. So I'll be revealing everything for free, because honestly, I just want to show you that getting into the best shape of your life is not as difficult as you think. And using these exact strategies, you can plug it into your lifestyle no matter how crazy busy your schedule is at the moment. And trust me, man, I know you have to balance things like personal devotion with the Lord, work, your own fitness journey, maybe even a family as well. Or if you're single, you're probably dating and pursuing marriage. I get that there's a lot going on, but I want to tell you, your weight loss goals can be achieved, and I'm going to show you how. Again, if this sounds like you, this video is going to be massively valuable for you. So what I'm going to do is hop into my computer over here, and we're going to go through everything you need to know. So let's get into it. So if you want to follow a proven method you can just plug into your busy lifestyle that's going to be both efficient and enjoyable for you, so you can still eat the foods you love and spend time with the important people in your life, so you can finally stay consistent and as a result feel physically stronger, have boundless energy, improved confidence, and newfound self-assurance, knowing that you are on the path to your best self and getting your dream body, and ultimately become the spiritual and physical leader that you know God is calling you to be. Or we'll refund you in full, no questions asked. Meaning, if you don't lose at least 15 pounds while putting on lean muscle and developing Daniel in the Lion's Den level of confidence in the first 90 days of the program, you do not pay a single cent. So if you were to join the Physique Lab Coaching Program, here is a screenshot out of the agreement that you would sign, and you can see that this is in fact guaranteed in writing. So if you have reached week 12 of the program without losing at least 15 pounds, will refund your investment in full, provided the following conditions are met. So 75% compliance within the nutrition app. So out of the first 12 check-ins that we're doing, 9 of those must have been marked compliant with calories and macros when it comes to nutrition. And then also 90% compliance in Everfit, which is the workout app that we use here in the Physique Lab. Also, I expect that check-in forms are completed every week, so that way I can actually give you feedback and you can implement that feedback. And then full completion of the online course within the membership portal, excluding any bonus material. So guys, it's like 30 minutes of video content per week max. And ultimately, this is my way of showing you that I'm going to help you get the result if you do what it is I ask of you. Of course, I can't guarantee that you're going to lose weight if I give you advice and you do absolutely nothing to follow it. And we offer this guarantee because that's how confident we are in helping you reach your dream body no matter where you're at. And honestly, we only want to keep your money if you're happy and you're getting the result that you're after and that you would be investing in us in the first place. Furthermore, if we do issue you a refund, you get to keep all of the tools. So the workout plan, the nutrition app, access to the online course, all of it is yours to keep. Now, you may be wondering, why am I so confident in offering such a crazy guarantee like this? And it's simple. It's because I used to be there too. So if you look at my story, right, I have been every single stage of a fitness journey possible. So going all the way back to high school, I was a super skinny kid with low confidence. You can see this photo here. This was my sophomore or junior year of high school. I was working at a concession stand for 4th of July. Look how skinny my arm is here. And then this was my senior year of high school. I was playing high school lacrosse. You can see I'm wearing a lacrosse penny here. I have a little bit more muscle than I did previously, but still pretty skinny kid. I was maybe lucky to weigh a $130 soaking wet, but then since I was playing lacrosse, that actually took me into playing collegiate lacrosse at Illinois Wesleyan University. So I played there for a year and a half, ended up quitting to do chemistry research. Chemistry research took me out to Boston University to pursue my Ph.D. in organic chemistry. And then you can see that after I stopped playing sports is when life caught up to me pretty fast. And I know some of you have a similar story as well. So I went from being a super skinny kid with low confidence to now being an overweight kid, maybe not a kid anymore, but overweight with no confidence. So you can see in this photo here, I got the chubby chipmunk cheeks. I have a plate of food in front of me because I'm just stuffing my face with food. You can see this photo as well. I've got quite the double chin going on. I got the big old gut hanging over my belt. So really not a good look. I think I was pushing 190 and I'm 5'9". So just not a good look for my frame, right? And during that entire time, I feel like I just had no real game plan in the gym. I felt like everything that I was doing was really just guesswork and following things that I found on the internet. I felt like I was spinning my wheels because I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted to. And really, I was following these super boring and restrictive diets. I've done every style of dieting in the past, right? I've tried intermittent fasting. I've tried carb cycling. I've tried keto. None of them worked for me and they weren't sustainable for my lifestyle. And I felt like I tried it all and nothing was working until I did hours of research, so you don't have to, and I finally learned the science behind fat loss and muscle gain so I could do it sustainably and not feel like some monotonous dieting robot. And then it finally clicked for me. So here's how it's going, right? That summer that I did all of that research, I ended up losing 30 pounds. So this was the start photo. This was the end photo over a couple of months, and I got down to 4% body fat. I then went on to compete in a men's physique show, which you can see in this photo right here. I ended up taking 3rd place in that show because I made the rookie mistake of signing up to compete in a federation that was not drug tested. So the 2 guys that took 1st and 2nd had about 20 pounds of muscle on me, even though they were the same height because they were on exogenous endogenous steroids. So this photo here was taken October of 2019, and then I also included some more recent photos of me down here in Florida. So you can see I'm out back by the pool, repping a tank top, repping that same tank top at the gym in Florida. So you can see hit that outdoor gym, outdoor workout in the sun. But I have absolutely no problem wearing tank tops, cutoffs, taking my shirt off at the beach, things like that. And what might surprise you guys is that I achieved all of this transformation that I show here with only 4 hours of workout time per week. And that usually looks like 3 to 4 lifts. And really, I only do more workouts or more activity if I want to. For example, if a friend hits me up and is like, hey Ty, you want to hit a lift this Saturday? I'll say yes, just to do it and spend some quality time with my buddies, but I don't have to do that. Since these photos were taken back in 2019, I really haven't changed that much to my training style. And you can see from the photos below that I'm still able to maintain that level of physique and even build more muscle. And all of that was done with no diet restrictions. I don't say no to any type of food unless I want to say no. I have more time for my social life. I can travel places. I can go out to eat with my friends, family, and loved ones and not have to worry about what the scale is going to be doing. I don't do any machine cardio, so you will never catch me on a piece of cardio equipment. I would rather be getting my steps outside. The only time you might see me on a treadmill is if I'm warming up for a workout at the gym. I like to do 5 minutes of incline walk on the treadmill, but other than that, you will not find me on the elliptical, the stationary bicycle, the Stairmaster, things like that. Again, I prefer what I call lifestyle cardio. That's going out, enjoying my life, getting in the sun, doing things that keep me active. I also have boundless natural energy, so I wake up every single morning feeling like $1,000,000. I feel great. I feel healthy. I have confidence levels that are off of the charts. So when I walk into a room, my head is held high and I'm not worried about what other people are thinking of me. And ultimately, I'm walking around in my dream body down here in Florida, living my best life. I was able to do that all because of a few key principles that I had learned, and that really inspired me to go on and start my business, the Fit Chemist LLC, and create the Physique Lab Coaching Program so that I can help others do the same. I also went on to get my certifications from the National Academy of Sports Medicine. I'm a certified personal trainer, certified nutrition coach, NASM virtual coaching specialist, and I also recently got my group fitness instructor certification as well. But the reason that I do what I do is because I want people to experience the same results without the hours of research that I had to do, without the trial and error, and without the pain or frustration of not seeing any results. In other words, I want to give you the cheat code that I discovered. Right now, you're probably thinking, Ty, that's cool that it worked for you, man, but this will never work for me. But let me show you why that's not true. So if we go back to that client that I talked about earlier in this video who lost 30 pounds and saw his abs for the first time in his life over the age of 50, he was hesitant about a program like this too. He's a busy business owner. He was wondering, how the heck am I going to learn all these skills and fit all this stuff into my busy lifestyle? But we did just that. You can see he achieved quite an epic transformation. He lost a significant amount of belly fat, as we can see from this front shot here. You can see that the shape of his stomach entirely changed from this side shot, and you can see he grew a ton of back muscle throughout this process, and he's starting to get what we call that V taper. If we take a look at his weight loss graph, you can see that we started back around January, and over about a 4 or 5 month period, we ended up losing those 30 pounds. We got down to around 160 pounds, and then from there what we did was we transitioned into a maintenance phase for the next 4 to 5 months. So I would imagine a lot of you watching this video, you not only have a weight loss goal, but the weight that you want to lose, you want to keep off for the rest of your life, and that's exactly what we do here in the Physique Lab. So this client lost 30 pounds and he went through a maintenance phase for, again, 4 to 5 months, so that way he could make sure that he knows how to keep this physique for the rest of his life. All of this was also achieved while running his own business, while enjoying date nights multiple times per week, drinking beer at professional hockey and baseball games. He was traveling domestically and internationally for vacations. He also traveled internationally for business, so he had a work trip over in Amsterdam for 1 week. He also went on cruises in the Caribbean for a week, so he was enjoying life to the fullest and still got these amazing results. Or let's take my client Dan, for example, who lost 22 pounds in just under under 16 weeks. This was the guy who started getting compliments from his wife and also fit into a medium shirt for the first time in over 8 years. So not only did he lose a significant amount of weight around the midsection, but he also lost it in his upper chest, neck, and face area. If we take a look at his weight loss graph, we can see it was a pretty steady loss over that 4-month period. But what's amazing is that all of this was achieved while working out from the comfort of his own home. He didn't have to go to a gym. He increased the amount of time spent with his family each week, because what we did was we implemented Taekwondo with his daughter twice per week as a form of cardio instead of going and doing boring machine cardio. And we also implemented daily walks with his families. He also did this while running his own business, and he was down 1 employee during the program. So he did this with even more work on his plate than usual. So it sounds cliche, guys, but everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. Where I think people go wrong is that they don't know how to manage their time effectively, and they don't know how to fit fitness and nutrition into their busy lifestyle. And that's exactly where my expertise comes into play. Something else that I'd like to point out too is that his wife was actually skeptical of this online training program at first. And I want to point this out because I know there are probably many of you who are in a similar position where your wife might be scratching her head saying, honey, how is this going to work? How is some guy online going to help you get this weight loss result? And why don't you just go see someone in person? So Dan's wife, for example, said something like this: I thought it was expensive at first, but now that you're in the program and I see how much Tyler puts into you, I'm surprised that he doesn't charge more. So both Dan and his wife saw the value in the program. Or let's take Brandon, for example, who came to me with low confidence levels, really just looking to become a healthier, more confident, better version of himself. We helped him lose 30 pounds in this process, and you can see this was an incredible transformation. He lost a lot of weight around the midsection as well, started to build some pectoral muscles. You can see from this side shot, he significantly reduced the inches around the stomach. And then look at this back shot. He totally transformed the shape of his back and how his physique looks. If we look at his weight loss graph, you can see we lost that over a very steady period, and then this last month or so we've actually transitioned into a muscle building phase. So we're going to do that for a couple more months, and that's setting him up for a second cut. So that way when he does that second dieting phase and loses even more fat, he's going to have an absolutely chiseled physique from revealing all that new muscle that he's building. And just like the other guys, all of this was achieved while enjoying the foods that he loves, playing in poker tournaments, enjoying his social life and not having to make any sort of sacrifices to that, and also enjoying his college football Saturdays. So Brandon is a huge Alabama fan. Every single Saturday, him and his friends and family, they get together, they enjoy food like chicken wings, french fries, baked potatoes, you name it. He learned how to incorporate that into his lifestyle and still see amazing results like this. And during the program, Brandon sent me texts like this all the time. So this one, for example: so pumped. Today I was able to fit into a suit that I haven't been able to wear in 2 years. Feels like $1,000,000. Most proud of fitting into an old pair of jeans that I haven't fit into in over 2 years. He feels the progress by his energy levels and seeing more definition in the gym. And then also sending me texts like this about celebrating new lows. So you can see this one here, he was at 191.4, already feeling like $1,000,000. And then we lost another 15 to 16 pounds, got down to 175. He was feeling light as a feather. And you can see here too, an old Cardinals pitcher that he played poker with congratulated him on his fitness journey. So even ex-MLB athletes are noticing the kind of transformations that we get here in the Physique Lab. And if that's not enough to convince you, let me show you just a few more transformations. So take Scott, for example, who lost 24 pounds and built an insane amount of muscle, especially around his arms and shoulders. Blake, who lost 28 pounds. Kyle, who lost 8 pounds but packed on an insane amount of muscle, and that's why the scale didn't reflect a bigger difference, because look at his arms, shoulders, and chest after that, before and after. Or take Jeffrey, who lost 20 pounds while still enjoying things like crumble cookies and seafood dinners with his wife. Mikey, who lost 17 pounds and started to see a six-pack developing as well. Or Jacob, who lost 28 pounds in this process and felt empowered to continue doing this on his own. And again, by the end of this video, you will know the exact 3-step process that I use to get my dream body, and it's also the same method that all of these clients that I just showed you use to get into the best shape of their lives as well. So why did this work for them? They realized they didn't have the time to spend hours on hours in the gym each week, and doing their own research resulted in confusion and even more hours wasted. They were frustrated by conflicting information, and ultimately they realized that they had no real game plan, just like I did back when I quit playing lacrosse. My clients decided to work with me because they were tired of not seeing results and knew that their approach had to change or they would stay stuck in that same position forever. They were finally done spinning their wheels and they wanted to follow a proven method that fit into their busy schedule to not only lose this weight, but to keep it off for good. Simply put, they used what's called leverage. They knew that they could achieve more by doing less. They just needed the right system that they could plug and play into their lifestyle. So they sought expert guidance on how to train efficiently and effectively in the gym, how to structure their diet so that they could still eat the foods that they love and lose weight, how to fit this change into their busy lifestyle, and ultimately have the freedom to enjoy social events and go travel. Here at the Physique Lab, our objective is simple. We want to help you eliminate the guesswork and master consistency so you can achieve your dream body no matter what obstacles life throws your way. And as a result, you'll look better, feel better, have increased energy, confidence levels will be through the roof, and skyrocketing productivity as well. And most importantly, you will live up to your God-given potential. Now, if this is all you need to hear and you're thinking, Tyler, I know this works after watching this far into the video. I just need to follow that proven system you're talking about that's enjoyable, time efficient, and suits my busy lifestyle so I can finally get into the best shape of my life. I know you've done it for yourself. I know you've proven that this works for countless others. Then go ahead and click the link below this video and book a free strategy session and let's talk about it. And no, this Zoom call is not some high pressure sales call to get you to join, because remember, at the end of the day, if you don't get the results after joining the program, I have to give you a full refund out of my pocket. And the reality here is that 95% of busy men never get into the best shape of their life and they stay stuck for good, or they get worse. The stats here are shocking. 6 out of 7 people who are obese will lose weight at some point in their life, but within 1 year, nearly 80% of people relapse back to their pre-diet weight. If that's not bad enough, after 2 years, that number goes up to 85%, and after 3 years, that number goes up to 95%, meaning that overall, there is a 5% success rate when it comes to dieting. Furthermore, 33% of those people end up gaining more weight than when they started that diet in the first place. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that we do not have a weight loss epidemic here in America. What we really have is a weight regain problem. So most people are concerned about the before and after, but what I'm ultimately concerned about and what we're concerned about here at the Physique Lab is the after. We want to make sure once you get to this after, you stay in that condition and you don't gain that weight back and have an after that looks like this. So that begs the question, why do traditional diets fail so miserably? And I think the first answer to that is because most people think training and nutrition is a 50-50 split, when in reality, it's a lot closer to 90% nutrition and 10% training. And let me highlight why with an example. If you were to come home from work, maybe you had a stressful day, you saw some Oreos on the counter, those sounded absolutely delicious. You could eat 6 Oreos, which are about 450 calories, in 1 minute. But alternatively, to burn that off, you would have to go on a treadmill and jog at a pretty moderate pace for about 40 minutes to burn that same amount of calories. So you cannot out-train a bad diet. Some additional reasons might be the lack of knowledge. So people just don't know what to eat, when to eat, how much to be eating, etc. They don't go any deeper than just the traditional advice of move more and eat less. The diets that they're following are not enjoyable or sustainable. They're not suitable for their busy lifestyle. They're also not focused on habits and routines. There's no support or accountability, and ultimately they're not helping your metabolism. A lot of the traditional diets that people do actually ruin your metabolism. And for all of those reasons, people are set up in this failure-driven cycle. So what most oftentimes happens is they enter into this big calorie deficit. They restrict food groups. So maybe they say no sugar, no soda, no pop, no candy. I'm cutting out all carbs for the next 90 days, something to that effect, right? they'll end up losing some weight, but then the weight loss slows down. They have a damaged metabolism, their energy levels start dropping, then progress finally stops and their mentality around it starts to suffer, and then comes that compensation binge where they think to themselves, well, I've been doing this for so long, I only saw these results, I'm not seeing results anymore, I'm just gonna go and eat whatever it is I cut out in the first place. That usually results in people gaining that weight back in the first place, and that's when they give up and they feel like a failure, and this cycle continues to go on and on and on. But let's look at an alternative. So instead of dieting, we could think about something like fueling, in which you get to eat more food while still seeing consistent and predictable fat loss, and the results are finally truly sustainable, meaning you can enjoy those results for the rest of your life. If done correctly, your body becomes a fat and calorie burning machine even while you're at rest and while you're sleeping, because of the muscle and the machine that you've built. Your base metabolism has now increased. You're focused on getting stronger in the gym while continuing to fuel your body properly so that your base metabolism continues to increase and that your body starts working for you instead of against you. And you're consuming enough calories and the right balance of macros to actually fuel your training, your lifestyle, and your goals instead of going into this huge calorie deficit. You also start focusing on building habits, routines, and consistency, and really you build a happy, flexible diet that fits into your lifestyle. Another common failure-driven cycle that I see people enter into is trying it on your own. So this is where information overload comes into play. You look on the internet, you see that one website says that brown rice is the devil, don't ever eat it. Another website says the top 10 reasons why brown rice is the best carb source for you on your weight loss journey. There's just a bunch of conflicting information. There's no clear roadmap. Your diet and training is all over the place, and really what you're relying on is your own motivation, which we all know comes and goes. When doing this, it's likely that you're not going to see any results, which is going to keep you frustrated, and it's going to lower your motivation even more. That's when you start giving into doubt and start thinking that, okay, maybe this works for other people, but this really isn't for me. Maybe you continue to push through, but that's what leads to burnout and fatigue, and then you just go back to what's comfortable and adopting your old habits, and any progress that you've made so far is completely undone, and at that point you become unhappy, you're easily irritable, your stress levels stay super high, your confidence tanks even lower, and you know that you're not living up to your full potential, and you're not serving and leading those around you well like you know you want to be doing. But this is not your fault. The fitness industry has convinced you that you need to spend 6 days a week in the gym, 2-hour sessions, and eat these boring meals like chicken and broccoli or tilapia and asparagus to lose weight in the first place, when that's simply just not true. Or how about something like traditional personal training, which in my opinion is also another failure-driven cycle. So what you do is you'll see someone 2 to 5 times per week. Your workouts are going to revolve around their schedule and not yours, and it's not suitable for your busy or unpredictable lifestyle because you have to show up when they want you to show up, not when you want to show up for yourself. Oftentimes, because in-person personal trainers have so many clients, they're going to cram you into a 30-minute session instead of a 45 or hour-long session, and really what they become is your workout buddy. And because there's no education, there's no accountability, and no focus on habits, there's really a lack of results. So I've seen people work with a personal trainer in person for over a year, and they still look the same way after 1 year of working together. I can only imagine how that leads to feeling frustrated and also viewing your money as wasted, because ultimately you're investing in someone to help you get a weight loss result, not just be your workout buddy. And since this is another failure-driven cycle, you're still unhappy, you're still easily irritable, stress levels are high, confidence is low, and you're still not living up to the full potential that you know you want to be living. Oftentimes, personal trainers will give you additional workouts to do on your own as well because of the limited availability in their schedule. And if you can do 1 extra session on your own, why can't you do all of those extra sessions on your own? On top of that, there's no accountability outside of the gym or assistance when you're traveling like we talked about, so that's going to lead to you constantly falling off of the wagon. And besides, does an in-person trainer really want to teach you everything? I would say no, because they stop making money once you know how to do it on your own. So I would like to propose a better, more sustainable way. Introducing the 4-8 Men method, which is the method that we use here in the Physique Lab Coaching Program. And I took inspiration out of this while reading 1 Timothy 4:8 that says, "For physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come." So our mission here at the Physique Lab is to help 1,000 busy Christian men become spiritually and physically fit to lead their homes, their spouses, their children, their friends, their coworkers, etc., and really make a kingdom impact here on this earth. So let's take a look at what that actually looks like and enter into a success-driven cycle, because now you're going to have a clear, easy to follow roadmap. You're going to have flexible training and diet, and you're going to be doing what I call lifestyle cardio. So that's what I mentioned earlier about going outside, being active, enjoying your life, instead of having to do 3 one-hour sessions on the Stairmaster 3 times per week. There's no more 6 days of workouts per week. Honestly, you can see really good results inside of this program with just 3 workouts per week. Inside of this program, you're going to have food freedom. You're going to be able to eat what you enjoy and still see the scale go down while also traveling, going to social events, church events, date nights, things like that, and ultimately have the satisfaction and comfort of knowing that that is not going to derail your weight loss progress. Inside of this program, you're going to see some insane results like we've already demonstrated with the client testimonials. You're actually going to start looking forward to the gym, and you're going to build sustainable habits, and now that means the progress you're seeing is going to be reliable long term. And instead of being irritable and unhappy with your current situation, your mood is going to be elevated, your quality of life is going to increase, your stress levels will come way down, your confidence will be soaring through the roof, and now you're going to be living up to your full potential and serving and leading those around you. So after talking to hundreds of guys, if I had to guess, this is probably a fair assessment of where you are currently. Your confidence is on the floor or non-existent. You're battling things like anxiety, stress, and depression. You're missing out on activities due to your current physical fitness because you get more out of breath than usual. If you're single, you don't feel attractive and you don't feel confident walking up to a woman and attracting the spouse of your dreams. Or if you're in a marriage already, you don't feel attractive for your spouse. After you get out of the shower, you're not happy with what you see in the mirror. You're self-conscious around other people, especially when walking into a room. You feel personal conviction from God because you know that He calls us to take care of our temples. It's likely your daily energy levels are extremely low. You don't even have energy to go out and do things with your friends, or if you're a father, you barely have energy to play with your kids. And also, you probably rely on lots of caffeine, maybe in the morning and that afternoon coffee as well. You're probably frustrated with not seeing results or seeing results and gaining that weight back from trying unsustainable methods. It's also likely that you have some current medical problems or you have a fear of future health concerns. So things like high cholesterol, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, things like that you know run in your family. And if you don't take care of your weight right now, you know that's coming for you too, and it's going to reduce your life expectancy. I would imagine if you're watching this video, you're either married or you're pursuing marriage, and that's something that you want in the future, and you know that these health conditions, if you don't take care of it, are going to take a significant number of years off of your life, meaning that you have less time to spend with your family in the future. That's where you are currently, but you want to get into the best shape of your life. You want to get out of the shower and love what you see in the mirror, maybe even flex in the mirror because you're so confident in the physique that you've built. You want that boundless natural energy that I was describing earlier, where you wake up in the morning, you're not stressed, you have this energy and you know that you can do everything that you need to get done today. You walk around feeling healthy and there's no more fear of those future health concerns because you are being proactive and taking care of them. You have confidence that's going to radiate into every single area of your life, including relationships, dating, spouse, friendships, work, whatever it might be. You fit into the clothes that you want to fit, or maybe you're unlocking your old wardrobe. Maybe because you've put on this weight, you don't fit into the clothes that you used to fit into, and you would love to fit into that old pair of jeans or that old t-shirt that you used to wear years ago. The quality of your life has drastically improved because you're now in good physical fitness and you don't have to say no to things because you know you're out of shape or you'll be out of breath doing them. Furthermore, you're rooted in God's word, so you no longer have stress or anxiety, and you know that you're living up to your full God-given potential and that you're ultimately on the path to your best self. And as we saw earlier, trying on your own, doing the traditional diets like intermittent fasting, keto, paleo, South Beach, things like that, or even in personal training have not taken you from this starting point to your dream outcome yet. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this video. But that's exactly where the 4-8 men method comes into play, because this method is going to take you from the starting point to your dream outcome. And you might be thinking, how do you actually do all of that? And that is a great question. So let's take a deeper look at how our program actually works. So the 4-8 men method rests upon 3 main pillars, and we call them the firm foundations, rebuilding the temple, and then kingdom accountability. So let's go through what each of those actually look like. So the first pillar is the firm foundations, and I named it that because we have to get these things in check before we do anything else on our weight loss journey. And under this first pillar, we have 3 sub pillars. The first one being kingdom community, and I took inspiration out of Matthew 6. If we look at the Lord's Prayer, it says, "Our Father in heaven, give us our daily bread, forgive our debts, lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil." It's very clear in the Bible that we are to live in community, and I don't think it's any different when it comes to our fitness journey. So yes, you will be working one-on-one with me directly, but I'm also going to get you plugged into a private Slack channel, which is essentially a group chat app. And if you join the program, you're going to be met with texts that look just like this. All of the other brothers in Christ who are in the program on a similar weight loss journey, they'll welcome you. We share things like words of encouragement out of the Bible or our devotionals. We also share things like recipes, but really it's just a place for us to hang out and be a supportive community. So if you have prayer requests, post them in there. Praise reports, post them in there. If there's something that you're struggling with or you have a question, throw it in the Slack channel as well. The next sub pillar is going to be beliefs, and I took inspiration out of Romans 12 for this one because it says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." And also in 2 Corinthians 10, it says we're supposed to take captive every thought and make it obedient to Christ. So I want to make sure that we don't have any sort of limiting beliefs that are going to be holding us back from reaching this goal in the first place, because I am a firm believer that if we don't get the upstairs right and tell ourselves that this goal is achievable, then of course we're not going to achieve that goal. So again, we want to identify, bind, and loose any of those limiting beliefs before we do anything else in the program. And then the next sub pillar under the firm foundation is going to be our habits. And there's 2 sides to this. The first side is getting rid of the bad habits that aren't serving the goal. So things like porn addiction, lust, alcoholism, smoking, vaping, playing video games, staying up super late at night and not getting to bed on time. All of those things are not going to serve you in terms of your weight loss goal. So what we want to do is eliminate or reduce those habits, but at the same time, we also want to replace them and set up good habits to make sure that this weight loss is sustainable, because whatever we do to get this weight off in the first place is what we're going to have to do to keep it off. A quick example of that would be something like what we did with Dan, where he was actually able to go for family walks after dinner. He was still being active, he was still doing lifestyle cardio, but he was able to do that and reach his weight loss goals. And that is something that he can do for the rest of his life with his family and his wife. So those are the 3 sub pillars that we have for the firm foundations. And once we have those in check, we can now move on to the second pillar, which is called rebuilding the temple. And this one also has 3 sub pillars. The first one is going to be training. Of course, any important part of a weight loss program is going to be centered around the workout plan. So ultimately, what I want to do is build a training plan together with you that's going to be enjoyable and efficient. What I would want to do is take a look at your schedule with you, see what days can you actually work out. Are you going to be going to a gym? Are you going to be doing the workouts at home? Are there any forms of exercise that you currently enjoy doing that you would like to keep doing? Just because I'm a big proponent of sustainability and adherence, I could come up with a perfect plan for you that's 6 days a week, 45 minutes per session, the perfect amount of lifting, the perfect amount of cardio, and that might seem like an A+ plan, but if you can't stick to it, then it's not an A+ plan, is it? So again, we're going to work together to make sure that this plan actually fits into your lifestyle, and really, I want you to have the feeling of, oh, this is a celebration of my body, I'm honoring my temple and honoring God by doing this, instead of like, oh, like I have to do this because Tyler told me to. I don't want you to have that feeling, right? I want you to look forward to the workout plan that we come up with. Furthermore, once we design that workout plan, I'm going to assign those workouts in a custom branded Physique Lab app. So you can pull up the app and it's going to show you, all right, here are the days that you're working out. You can click on the workouts. You can see the exercises, the sets, the reps, the rest period, periods. There's video instruction in there. If we're doing any sort of cardio or lifestyle cardio, that will be assigned in there as well. And I can see what you're doing as far as workouts go. So that way I can give you detailed feedback, and I can also hold you accountable because I get notified when you complete those workouts. Once we get you set up on the training plan, we're then going to tackle nutrition as well. And ultimately what I want to do here in the Physique Lab is teach you what I call the superpower. And what I mean by that is still being able to eat the foods that you love in moderation, of course, and still lose weight. And the way that we do that is by tracking calories and macronutrients. So if you're unfamiliar with that concept, that's totally okay. The best analogy that I have for it is, let's say that a brother in Christ came up to you at church and said, hey man, I really want to become better with my finances. What should I do? The first thing that you'll probably suggest to that person is to set up a budget. So what is your income level and where are your expenses? Are your expenses exceeding your income? Are they under your income? Where are those expenses going? What are you spending your money on? It's the same way when it comes to our nutrition. So I want you to think of tracking your calories like keeping a financial budget. Your calorie target is your daily budget for the day, and you can spend that virtually however you want. For example, let's say you have 2,500 calories to quote unquote spend each day, and your friends hit you up, they want to go get some pizza. If you want to spend 500 calories on a slice of pizza, by all means, go for it. I would be absolutely happy to show you how to incorporate that slice of pizza and still see the scale go down. Now, I'm not saying that this program is a license to eat whatever you want, because what I would also want to do is show you how to structure your diet so that those other 2,000 calories come from whole food sources, fruits and veggies, and ultimately you're fueling your body the way it needs to be fueled, and you're still getting all the nutrients that you need. Within this sub-pillar, you'll also get access to a calorie tracking app that's very similar to MyFitnessPal, but in my opinion has a way cooler user interface. And also there is a coaching feature where I can go in and I can see exactly how you're doing in terms of hitting your calorie and macronutrient target goals, but I can also see what kind of foods you're logging, so I can give detailed feedback on how to actually structure your diet to make sure that you are losing this weight. And the last sub-pillar of rebuilding the temple is going to be education. So I have built an online course that goes over all of the previous sub-pillars that we've talked about. So the beliefs, the habits, the training, and the nutrition, because ultimately I want you to learn the why behind everything we're doing in this program. I want you to learn things like, why does training look this way? Why am I eating this much? Why is Tyler suggesting that I eat these types of foods? Because I want this to be your last stop shop when it comes to your health and fitness, meaning that I do not want to see you invest another dollar into another personal trainer, dietitian, nutritionist, life coach, whatever it might be, because I want you to come through this program and be empowered to keep this weight loss result for the rest of your life. And if I've done that, I have successfully done my job. And then the last pillar is what we call kingdom accountability. And there are two sub pillars under this one. And the first sub pillar is going to be weekly check-ins. And what I mean by that is that twice per week, I send out a check-in form inside of the Physique Lab app to monitor your progress. The form is super simple. It takes maybe 30 seconds to a minute to fill out and complete, because I ask questions like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you adhering to the training plan? How are you adhering to your calorie and your macronutrient target goals? How are your stress levels, your sleep levels, your digestion, things like that. So I can quickly go through, and if I see that stress is marked at a 9 and sleep is at a 2, I know to call you and say, hey man, what's going on? What do we need to change this week to make sure that we're still progressing towards our goals? In addition to those check-in forms, I will also go through both the nutrition app and the fitness app once per week and give you weekly feedback in the form of a 10-minute video that's recorded via Loom, just like the one that you're watching here. And then the last sub-pillar here under kingdom accountability that goes hand in hand with weekly check-ins is going to be optimization. So this is a 6-month program, and right now, both of us can guarantee that something is 100% going to pop up that tries to get us off track in terms of our weight loss journey. The way that I view this is that I am in your corner at all times, helping you make these training and nutrition adjustments so that way the scale continues to go down. So as we saw earlier, you have a minimum of 2 touch points per week with me from those check-in forms, but you also have 24/7 access to me in the Slack channel and the Physique Lab app as well. So there's messaging functionality in both of those. If something pops up, let me know and let's game plan for it so that we can continue to see the progress that we want to see. And because we're doing all this, hopefully we're going to avoid any plateaus or progress stalling out. But if that does happen, we're tracking all of the right variables and all of the other sub pillars like training and nutrition, so we know exactly what it is we need to change to get that scale moving again. So there's no more guesswork. Now, I know that was a lot of information, but I went ahead and made a summary slide of the program for you guys. So feel free to pause the video, take a screenshot, and look this over right now. I do want to point out that over here in the top left is talking about the training pillar. The bottom left is talking about the nutrition pillar. Up here in the top right corner, that's talking about the online course and the access that you would get for that. And then in the bottom right, this is the weekly check-ins and the data optimization side of things. So hopefully after going through the 4-8 men method and all that you'd be getting inside of the program, I hope that you're starting to see just how valuable this method is. But let's do some math. Here is the cost of taking action the traditional way. Let's say you were to go hire a personal trainer. That cost per session is going to be roughly $60 per session. You'll probably see them twice per week minimum, meaning you'll have 8 sessions per month, which is going to cost you about $480 per month, or just under $6,000 per year. And that's just for the personal trainer. You'll also need to hire a nutritionist or a dietitian to help you with that side of things, because we saw earlier, that's 90% of the big picture. That's going to run you about $100 per session, and you'll have probably 1 session per week coming out to $400 per month or $4,800 per year. And if you want the same level of accountability that we provide here in the Physique Lab, you're going to have to hire a life coach on top of that personal trainer and nutritionist, and that's going to run you $120 per session. You'll probably see them once per week as well, which is going to come out to be $400 per month or $4,800 per year. You also need to factor in the cost of eating out. So right now, it's likely that each time you go out to eat, you're spending at minimum $20, and you're probably doing that twice per week or maybe 8 times per month. And that right there alone is $160 or $1,900 a year that you could save. So if we total that up, you're looking at a cost of about $1,400 per month or $17,000 per year to take action the quote unquote traditional way. So that's the cost of taking action, but let's look at something that most people don't think about either, but that is going to be the cost of inaction or doing nothing. So I went online and I looked at the average expenses for things like obesity and CVD or cardiovascular disease. Obesity alone costs about $1,000 per month in medical expenses or $12.5K per year. CVD expenses are about $1,600 per month or $19K per year. And if you have these current health issues, it's likely that your life insurance costs will be about $50 more than the average person, which totals up to about $600 per year, but multiply that across your entire lifespan, right? And if we're thinking even further into the future, if you don't take care of your physical fitness and you have a lack of mobility, you're out of breath, you really can't do day-to-day chores because you're overweight, it's likely that you're going to have to go into assisted living, which is probably going to run you about $3,000 per month or $36,000 per year, and that's just 1 year. If we total that up, that puts you at $5,600 per month or $68,000 per year, which is a lot of money, guys, and that doesn't include any additional costs that you're likely to incur. So you have things like prescription medications, specialized equipment and mobility aids, so canes, walkers, wheelchairs, maybe you can't walk anymore because you're overweight. You have extra doctor visits, miscellaneous hospitalizations. Maybe you're prone to injury because of your current physical fitness level and you have to go into rehab or physical therapy. Maybe there's other diet programs that the doctors recommend for you. You could be put on other supplements as well. Or maybe there's special clothing costs that you have to buy because you have this extra weight and they don't make clothing in your size. And if we total up the cost of inaction here with the cost of taking action from the previous slide, you're looking at about $85,000 per year. And that's not all, guys. There are some other expenses that I want you to consider as well. So what's the cost per month or cost per year for you for having low self-esteem levels? What about reduced daily energy levels? Or decreased productivity at work? Or how about having a lower quality of life? Or the fact that you're carrying this extra weight is leading you to go into social isolation? Or what about having reduced life expectancy? So I looked this one up, and if you are obese, it's likely that you will cut 5 to 20 years off of your life. So let's just average that and say it's around 10 years. What are those extra 10 years with your wife and your kids and your friends worth to you? What about all of the money that you're missing out on because you have to take time off of work to go on all these doctor visits? Or what about a reduced earning potential or even relationship strain, whether that's something with your spouse? So maybe right now you're lacking intimacy with your spouse because you're overweight. What does that cost to you? Or what if you know that you're not the father that you want to be to your children because you're out of shape and you don't have the energy to play with them? Like, what is that costing you per month? What is that costing you per year? Unfortunately, I can't answer that for you. But let's say we just put that at somewhere around $100,000 per year, which in my opinion, I think it's way more than that. That would put you at a grand total of $185,000 that it's costing you to not take action on this goal. And if you were to ask me, I would argue that this type of weight loss transformation is priceless. But the important question here is, do you see it that way? But let me illustrate that with an example. Let's say I was going to sell you a Ferrari for $5,000. If you had that money, you would give it to me in an instant because you see the value in that Ferrari. And if you didn't have that money, you'd probably bend over backwards to find it, wouldn't you? You would be exploring things like PayPal credit or a firm that would allow you to take that $5,000, give it to me, and then pay monthly payments to a firm. So that way you could get your hands on that Ferrari sooner rather than later. You'd probably be asking your friends and family for money. Maybe you go to the bank to take out a loan. Maybe you max out your credit cards. Maybe you start selling your personal belongings like a car or your sofa or a TV. You would do whatever it takes to find that money. Whatever option you took to come up with that money, you would find a way because you see the value in that car. You know that you could buy it for $5,000, turn around and sell it for upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Now, my program is not $5,000, but here's my question for you. If you're willing to do something like that for a Ferrari, why are you not willing to do that same thing for your health? Because your health is worth way more than a fancy car. Now, to build even more trust with you, I'm going to show you even more results from clients inside of the program. Let's take Ryan, for example, who ended up losing 15 pounds during our time together. You can see he lost a significant amount of weight around his midsection, so much so that you can see his abs starting to pop through, and he made significant strength gains in the gym, which was one of his primary goals. If we look at his weight loss graph, you can see it was pretty steady throughout our time together, and I got texts from him like this all the time. So first 174 and change sitting in a while. So we were celebrating a 174 weigh-in. Next day, text me also first 173 sighting. Or let's take Mikey, for example, who ended up losing 17 pounds and building a significant amount of muscle. Just look at the difference in these two pictures. You can see, again, his abs are coming in. He built some chest definition, some arm definition, some shoulder definition. And you can see from his weight loss graph that that was pretty steady as well. There's a couple blips along the way, but that's normal. And what I want to point out about his transformation and that he is a busy dude working downtown Chicago in the finance industry, and oftentimes he was so busy that he would not have time to prep his food, so he ate out at Chipotle for a lot of his meals, and he still saw this kind of progress. Or let's take Blake, for example, who lost 28 pounds during our time together and then felt empowered to go and continue this journey on his own. You can see from the text that he sent me, another 3-pound day, so he lost 3 pounds in just one day. He texted me stuff like this all the time about hitting new lows, and we get to celebrate with fun SpongeBob gifts. And you can see from his weight loss graph, right, this was really steady, and then we had a little bit of a hiccup. But what I want to point out here is that that's okay. That's normal. It's likely that will happen for some of you, but what was important is that we got right back on track, and as soon as we did that, you can see that the scale started to drop steadily again. Or how about Scott, who lost 24 pounds during our time together and built tons of muscle. Just look at the shape of his midsection in these two photos. Look at his arm definition, his shoulder definition as well. He built some boulder shoulders inside of the program, and you can see that this was his progress here. So we were maintaining for a little bit, and then we decided to go into a cutting phase after building some of that muscle to reveal some of that hard-earned muscle. Scott was no different than my other clients. We celebrated new lows all the time as well. So you can see here, he hit a 155 weigh-in despite the week before going a little off track with the diet, but he realized that it didn't totally derail his progress. Not much later in that week, he texted me that he weighed in under 154 for the first time in 7 to 8 years. So we got to celebrate that amazing milestone together. And not only that, he also got rid of his fatty liver. So when Scott first came to me, that was definitely a concern of his and part of the reason why he wanted to lose some of that weight. So can I guarantee that we're going to reverse all of your health conditions at the moment? No, and I'm not a medical doctor, but it's likely that losing weight will help you improve some of those conditions. And if that's still not enough, I'm going to show you even more results. As you guys can see, I'm over in a Canva whiteboard because there's no way I could fit all of these texts into a slide deck because I get texts like this every single day. So let's just look at some of these. Like if we come into here, this is one of my clients, Jeff, loving his new physique thanks to Coach Tyler's guidance and his work in the gym and nutrition front. One of them that I want to show you guys here, this client came in, said he's loving the program. The first time he's made weight progress and he feels like it's something sustainable. Every other time I knew deep down that I wouldn't be able to live like that forever and I'd eventually yo-yo back up. Excited to keep working your program. Thanks again for working with me. Here was Scott's text about getting rid of fatty liver. Here's Brandon text about going down to 191.4. We got some reduced resting heart rates in here. There's another one here. So this guy, first week in the program, you can see October 25th to the 29th, over a 4-day period, he lost almost 4 pounds. The program itself is working. This text goes along with that one too. He said he didn't know if he should share it here, but he basically lost all that weight and he wasn't even starting the workouts yet. He joined the program. We made some small nutritional changes and he was already seeing results like that. Or how about this one right here with eating a fear food and still losing weight? So this person had not had cinnamon rolls in literally years. They told themselves these were off limits, but they got to eat cinnamon rolls and still lose weight in this program. Or what about this one over here in which someone went down from 36-inch waist shorts down to 34 inches. They fit. They're a little snug, but they're comfortable. Just opened up a whole new rotation for shorts during the summer. Or how about this one here, where one of my clients said, I always thought that this macro thing was going to be so restricting, but it's actually the opposite, at least for me. I will say, I never really ate fast food and stuff and was already trying to eat clean. I'm sure that's helping, but being able to have things like rice and popcorn or whatever and still see results is crazy. So guys, tell me when to stop. I can literally keep going through all these texts. And again, these are just some of them. But what I want to point out is transformation results are guaranteed here in our program. So if you want, feel free to pause the video, take a screenshot. You can read all these texts for yourself. So if this sounds interesting to you and you're a busy Christian man and you finally want to take action and get into the best shape of your life, then click the link below this video and book in a free strategy session Zoom call with me. But I do want to warn you and say, do not book in a call if you're not ready for an incredible transformation or some serious results. If you just want to sit around and chat, if you like to think about things instead of actually taking action, if you're not going to implement any of the advice that I give you on the call, or if you're someone who still wants to waste their own time trying it on their own, if you think a Ferrari is still more valuable than your health, or if you like to point the finger instead of pointing the thumb, meaning that you do not take accountability for your current fitness situation and this weight that you need to lose, and you like to blame everything on everybody else. And again, if you don't see the results that you're looking for, you do not pay. Meaning, if you do not lose at least 15 pounds while putting on lean muscle and developing Daniel and the Lion's Den level of confidence in the first 90 days, you do not pay a single cent. And at this point, there are really 3 options that you could follow. Option 1, join the Physique Lab, get the result. Life is awesome. Option 2 would be join the Physique Lab and you don't get the result that you're looking for. Or option 3 would be doing nothing at all. Now, only one of these options guarantees that you don't get the result that you're looking for, and that would be option 3. Of course, if you do nothing at all, you're not going to reach your weight loss goals. And since I have a money back guarantee, that eliminates option 2 from the table. So to me, it seems like option 1 is the best, where you join the Physique Lab risk-free. If you don't get the result, you don't pay, but you're gonna get the result and life is going to be awesome. And guys, if you made it this far, I just wanna say thank you so much for both your time and attention. I know in today's culture, that is quite valuable. So thank you for spending some time here with me. Again, if you haven't booked a call, you can do so via the link down below this video. If you're interested in getting in contact with me, feel free to email me, search up my Instagram, or if you wanna scan this QR code, it will pull up my digital business card. So with that, I will see you guys in the next video.